All right, so I'm sure most of you, maybe even some of you, are wondering where I've been. As I mentioned, I think in my last video, that Pokemon cards have been very, very expensive. So you know what I did? I went out and bought a 3D printer. No, but in all seriousness, I've been wanting a 3D printer for a very long time, and Micro Center actually had a good deal on the one I wanted, the P1S, for a very long time. It was, for me, a debate between the Bambu Lab A1 Mini with the AMS combo. AMS just means you could fill in 4 different filament colors and print multi-color prints at the same time. So that's what AMS means. So if I say AMS, that's what that means. So it was the A1 Mini, which is their cheapest model, for around non-Black Friday pricing. I don't know. It was, I think back then it was like, I don't know, around $400, almost $500 for that combo, right? And the P1S I never even thought of, because that with the AMS combo was near $1,000, something crazy stupid like that, right? So this Black Friday, I knew there was going to be some deals, and I love just kind of doom scrolling, but I don't do it on social media. I doom scroll on like the expensive places. So I doom scroll on Amazon, I doom scroll on Best Buy, and then occasionally I'll go to Micro Center and I'll just see what they got going on there, especially around Black Fridays. You never know what anyone's got going on. So in this case, I saw the P1S for around the amount I would have paid for the A1 Mini combo, even though the A1 Mini was actually dirt cheap. If you wanted to get into 3D printing, I think it might be, by the time this video goes up, dirt cheap with the AMS combo. I think it was like $300 for the whole thing. The P1S with the AMS combo was the price I would have paid for the A1 Mini with the AMS combo months ago. It's like, all right, no brainer. I'm just gonna do it. Long story short, that's what I did. And I know some of you guys might be asking like, oh, this isn't Pokemon cards. Well, guess what? This isn't your channel. So I just wanted to fill you guys in and let you know that I bought into the hype of 3D printing. I know 2025 is almost over, but in 2026, I'm sure 3D printing will probably just continue its trajectory up into being this, I don't know, relatively cheap hobby to get into. I mean, if you think about a hobby, what is a hobby? Like Pokemon cards, getting into that, you're gonna buy hundreds, thousands of dollars worth of packs just to maybe get your money back 1 out of 10 times. 3D printing, there's a lot more value in that. There's 100% more value in that. I know a lot of you have been wondering where I've been, and there's a lot in that answer. I think the last time I uploaded a video was a very long time ago. So between my last video and now, I mainly have been working on a home server, which I kind of got inspired by. I've been watching a lot of Linus Tech Tips and stuff like that, and I kind of got into home servering. And I promise this story is relevant. So in the time I've been working on my home server, which is up and running now, so I get remote access. I have a bunch of stuff on it. It's my media server, right? So I could upload all of my owned movies into it, and I could stream it from anywhere in my house, which is actually really sick. So I could do movies, music. So that's the home server thing is actually really cool. I wasn't gonna do a video on that because I thought that was kind of boring for my channel. I thought like, okay, my audience, all 100 of you subs, so thank you, we're gonna get there, aren't gonna be interested in a home server. But that led me into the world of 3D printing because, first of all, I've always been interested in 3D printing. However, I came across a couple of videos where people were actually 3D printing server racks. And if you don't know, a server rack is typically something in someone's data center, like a big company's data center. It's this big rack, takes up the whole room, and it runs people's servers, their web hosting, all their storage, all this crazy nonsense stuff, right? But in a home server, you run your Wi-Fi off of it, you run your server off of it, and you obviously just any storage capacity needs, like all that kind of stuff works. Mine is just an Dell Optiplex computer taking up some space in my fireplace, right? No big deal. But then I saw these 3D printed server racks and I was like, oh, these are really cool. So long story short, again, that's how I got to 3D printing here. And I'll tell you what, it's been a blast. It's been about, at the time of recording, it's 12/6. I got my printer maybe like a week and a half ago on Black Friday. And I don't think I've turned it off since. It's been running. I've had a couple of maintenance issues where I've needed to, I think I bought a bad spool from Micro Center because there was one spool that was dried out a little bit and it broke inside the tubing and I had to pull it out. But other than that, no issues. So let's dive into the first 3D print I ever made, and it was for my fiance, and this little guy, his name is Rex. He is an articulating skeleton dinosaur thingy, and he stands and he lay flat. He stand and lay flat and he yell. And my fiance creatively named him Rex. The creativity is through the roof. So then after that, I was going through a phase where I kind of just had white, because it comes with white, yellow, and green, I think, or like it comes with like a little bit of filament for you to practice and print some tools or whatever. I didn't do that, so I went straight to printing that. My second print was for me, bringing it back to my audience. This is a skeletal Charizard, and he was broken actually. So I didn't know this when I printed it. I mean, I did once I downloaded the file and actually started printing it. It's actually split in half, and I had to glue it together, which I didn't know. And the supports on him, actually, because you can see his ribs. So when you 3D print, some things are floating in the air, so you have to have supports. Some of the supports look like his ribs, so I might have ripped his arm and a few ribs off, unfortunately. So that's where my next tool came into play, and I had to buy a little hot glue gun. So since 3D printing, I've realized I need some more tools that are gonna help me along the way here. So the next thing I got, a digital caliper that measures in inches and meters, and it was like $5 on Amazon. So basically you just kind of go like this, and it tells you kind of how big things are, so you can measure it, scale things, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, great. Now I'm running out of space to put all these tools, right? I got a hot glue gun, I got this thing, and then I use this guy to take off some supports and stuff, right? No big deal. I'm like, all right, I'm running out of space for all these tools, and I kind of want them in one centralized spot. This is where I think 3D printing becomes a rabbit hole, because it sounds like you could just buy the printer, buy the filament, and then you're off to the races. For me, that's not how this brain works, baby. I went out and bought this $20 toolbox, and it's amazing. And if you know the world of 3D printing at all, you'll know that there's this system called Gridfinity, and that's where those calipers come back into play, right? So basically, Gridfinity is a grid system that you shape to a drawer or to a cabinet or wherever you're gonna be laying flat, right? And then print out these little buckets that fit right into it. This one's holding a couple pens for me, and it fits right into the Gridfinity system. I'll get you some better B-roll of it, but that's the Gridfinity system. And again, we're back in rabbit hole land. So I did that. I started doing that for my toolbox. So now my toolbox has the Gridfinity system in it. So now that's one of my side projects, is I'm organizing basically my entire life with this Gridfinity system, and it's been amazing. So now that I got the hang of this 3D printing stuff down, and I'm kind of like a pro at this point, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I kind of know what I'm doing now. Let me get into some stuff that I relate to. This was my first print where I was like, oh shoot, I could do some really cool stuff. And that it was this Gengar. So Gengar comes in 3 pieces. So it was a 3-plate print, which means that like you print obviously one plate, take the stuff off, and then you put the next plate in. I had to do that 3 times for this guy. So the eyes and the teeth were 2 separate prints, and the body was another print. This guy came out really, really good until I looked at him and he's got a little butthole. Hey yo, what the fuck? So that I'm still kind of working on. If anyone in the comments knows how I could fix that, let me know. There was a bunch of supports here that I ripped off, and it kind of like, I don't know, the finish on it just wasn't that good. So if you guys in the comments have any idea on how I could fix that, that'd be awesome. And then from there, I just kind of printed a bunch of other stuff. I printed this little, my fiance collects mini pops, so I made her a little mini pop shelf kind of thing that we could wall mount. So now she's got her little mini pops on the wall, and it looks really cool on her pop wall. Oh, this one's actually kind of cool, even though it's garbage. No, literally, it's garbage. This is my workbench, like where I'm recording from, like my workbench, where I put the models together. I got hot glue gun, I got my knife, I could do this, that, whatever. I was like, oh, I generate a lot of garbage here. Why not make a little dumpster? I made a little dumpster. I made a little dumpster, and it works. It opens up. It's got all bunch of plastic in there that I don't, or PLA that is I'm not using anymore, and it's like a little dumpster. How freaking cute is that? So I got my little dumpster here. Yeah, I also made this little poop chute that's supposed to like collect the poop. It goes behind there, but a lot of times it falls, and all the poop, all of it, all the poop comes out. Every single poop. So 3D printing, I think, has been a really fun and entertaining thing. I've been really enjoying it. So one thing I'd like to note is that it's not cheap. It's not cheap. I mean, it seems cheap to get into it, right? You're like, okay. For me, it was like I can get the printer and everything I need to get started. For the P1S combo that I got was $550. That does not include filament, and that does not include anything, any tools you might need. Although you could print a lot of tools that you need. Like I printed out this little scraper instead of getting like a knife. So like when I print, I could just scrape. So that's cool. You could 3D print some of your tools, but a lot of the time you're gonna want like some tools like to rip off supports. You need a pair of pliers, and so it doesn't account for all that, right? Which is fine. So, and then the filament, that's another story. Kind of rough because if you want a spool of filament, which comes in 1 kilogram, it's just the weight of it. It's usually between like $11 and $25, depending on the color, what kind of filament. I use just PLA basics because I'm not doing anything critical right now. I also got these cereal buckets, cereal containers, with to hold the filament in there with like those are silica gels that'll keep it dry. It absorbs the moisture in the air so that the filament doesn't absorb the moisture in the air and get ruined. So that's just another thing. Yeah. I want to look into getting into PETG or PETG, which is like a stronger version. There's like more flexible variants of filament. There's all kinds of crazy stuff, but for right now I'm sticking with the basic stuff, which I find in combos that are like you get a little cheaper. Like you buy 3, you get them a little cheaper. So that's that. Now the big thing I have it printing right now, it's actually in the background right here printing, is I don't know how many Monster Hunter fans we have in the chat here. But Monster Hunter personally is one of my favorite video games of all time. And what better monster to print than the OG Rathalos? I found this on Bambu Labs' first party app, which is Bamboo Handy, and this was actually one of the models I found on there. And just like Rex over here, right, articulates and moves and stuff, he articulates and moves. So he's gonna be, when he's all done, hopefully by the end of this video I have him. I don't think I will, because this guy was a 32-hour print, which I started I started yesterday, and I've had a couple of hiccups here and there. But when he's done, he's gonna move, articulate, stand, and lay flat, just like Rex over here, which is actually really sick. Bless me. Do it now. So when that's done, hopefully at the end of the video, I'll show it. Otherwise, I'll just post it on YouTube and you guys can see the finished product there. So again, 3D printing, and I guess summarizing it, is a great hobby to get into if like you're looking to get into a hobby. Like, I don't know how else to put it, because like for me it was like my biggest thing originally, and I don't know if I mentioned this, was when I was diving into my home server stuff, I wanted to build a cyber deck that I could remotely access into my server with. Now if you don't know, a cyber deck is basically what it sounds like from Cyberpunk. It's basically, picture a laptop from Cyberpunk aesthetically, right? But it's supposed to be this thing that you build, and it's not like you go out and buy a laptop. You get your own components. Like for me, I would get like a Raspberry Pi 5 or something like that. I would build the enclosure. I would 3D print an enclosure for it. You'd buy a screen, like an IPS screen you find on AliExpress, and you put this whole thing together. And you could run Linux on it, or whenever you run whatever you want on it, but it's essentially a computer that you build to serve a specific purpose. So that's a cyber deck. So that's my next big project, other than my home server. So that's just kind of the things that's been keeping me busy at this point, and I have not been documenting it. So if you want to see me continue documenting stuff like this, please let me know down below. I'll continue documenting and recording and making voiceovers on all this stuff, because I was at home today and I was like, man, my 3D printer's busy. I got nothing else to do. Then I was like, you know what? Let me just talk about it, because I haven't seen you guys in a very long time. How are you doing, Jimmy? Oh, shit. Oh, that's okay. No, I'm sure. Yeah. Should we feel better soon? But, you know. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. I'm sorry that these uploads are so sporadic. It used to be every week. If you missed the Pokemon card stuff, let me know down below. Maybe I'll spare some change with my wedding coming up to buy some Pokemon cards. But if you like more content like this, also let me know down below. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Boom.